This food can repair DNA and starve cancer, what you need to know. When we consider why some individuals unfortunately develop aggressive cancers, while others, even those carrying similar genetic predispositions or mutations, seem to remain untouched by the disease, the answer might not lie solely in their genetic code. It's crucial to broaden our perspective and examine deeply what they consume, day in and day out. Many people are taught and therefore believe that cancer is an almost exclusively genetic condition, a predetermined fate where DNA damage is irreversible. They think that once cells cross that threshold into becoming cancerous, there's absolutely nothing that dietary choices can do to change the trajectory. However, after dedicating nearly 15 years to the demanding field of emergency medicine, and having the profound experience of working directly with countless oncology patients, I've observed something truly remarkable that fundamentally challenges much of what we learned and were led to believe during our medical school training. The truth is, certain specific foods possess an incredible inherent power. They can actively help repair damaged DNA, and even more astonishingly, they can effectively starve existing tumors by meticulously cutting off their vital blood supply. We're not talking about simply slowing down their growth. We're talking about depriving them of sustenance entirely, forcing them into submission. A microscopic tumor, completely deprived of access to a network of blood vessels, is essentially trapped. It cannot grow larger than the minuscule tip of a standard ballpoint pen. But here's the terrifying acceleration. The very moment those crucial blood vessels manage to reach and penetrate that tumor, its growth can explode, multiplying to an astonishing 16,000 times its original size in a mere 2 weeks. Hello, I'm Dr. Becker, an emergency medicine physician. After dedicating years to observing patients courageously battle cancer, often while being told that their nutritional intake was a negligible factor in their fight, I came to a deeply uncomfortable yet undeniably true realization. The scientific research, robust and compelling, has existed for decades, consistently demonstrating that specific types of foods can activate and supercharge our body's own powerful, natural anti-cancer defenses. And yet, this vital information is almost never discussed, let alone prioritized, within mainstream clinical practice. In this comprehensive video, I am committed to revealing to you the exact foods that possess the capability to repair DNA damage at the most fundamental cellular level. More than that, I will explain precisely how your body can actively starve developing cancer cells by intelligently controlling the growth of blood vessels, a process known as angiogenesis. We will delve into the fascinating science behind angiogenesis and why it stands as an absolutely critical cornerstone for effective cancer prevention. We'll uncover the specific compounds embedded within everyday foods that are adept at cutting off a tumor's blood supply, thereby halting its growth. You'll learn about the truly remarkable ability of certain foods to mend broken DNA strands, offering a path to cellular regeneration. And, perhaps most importantly, I will provide you with the precise amounts of these foods you need to incorporate into your diet, starting today, to fully activate these incredible protective mechanisms within your own body. Just a quick favor if you don't mind. I frequently receive messages from individuals who have watched several of my videos, only to discover later that they weren't actually subscribed to the channel. Could you take a moment right now to double check your subscription status? It's completely free, takes literally 2 seconds, and it makes a significant difference, helping this channel reach even more people just like you who are genuinely seeking real, science-based information to optimize their health and prevent disease. Your support helps us share these crucial insights. Let me begin by explaining something absolutely fundamental, a concept that has the power to completely transform how we think about cancer. Here's a truth that often surprises people. Cancer cells are actually forming in your body right this very second. They are forming in my body, and indeed in everyone's body, irrespective of age or health status. This isn't a cause for immediate alarm. It is, in fact, a perfectly normal aspect of our complex human biology. You possess an astounding approximately 40 trillion cells, and these cells are in a constant state of division, tirelessly working to replace old, worn out, or damaged cells. During this incredibly complex and rapid process of cellular division, copying errors are an inevitable occurrence. Think of it like making thousands upon thousands of photocopies of an important document. Eventually, despite the best efforts, you're bound to end up with some pages that contain small mistakes or imperfections. These microscopic mistakes at the cellular level create abnormal cells. And it's important to understand that some of these abnormal cells are, by strict biological definition, technically cancerous. So, as you're reading this, you likely have dozens, perhaps even hundreds, of microscopic clusters of these technically cancerous cells quietly forming within your body. The logical next question then becomes, why aren't we all succumbing to cancer at a much younger age or constantly battling the disease? The answer lies in the incredible efficiency and vigilance of your immune system. Your body's internal defense force is exceptionally good at finding these tiny, nascent clusters of abnormal cells and effectively eliminating them before they ever have the chance to become dangerous or grow into a serious threat. It's akin to having a highly sophisticated and dedicated security patrol constantly scanning every corner of your internal landscape, promptly identifying any potential problems and neutralizing them with precision and speed. However, this is where the situation can become critical. Even if some of these rogue cancer cells manage to evade the initial detection and elimination efforts of your immune system, they still cannot truly harm you unless they solve one absolutely crucial problem. They need sustenance, they need oxygen, they need a steady supply of nutrients, and to acquire these vital resources, they need blood vessels, a direct lifeline. This is precisely where the profound concept of angiogenesis becomes absolutely essential to grasp. Angiogenesis, quite simply, refers to the physiological process of growing new blood vessels from pre-existing ones. Your body maintains incredibly tight and precise control over this process because the delicate balance of blood vessels is paramount to your health. You need just the right amount, not too few, otherwise your tissues would suffer and die from a dire lack of oxygen and nutrients. But also not too many, as an excess can lead to serious problems, such as the abnormal blood vessel growth that is responsible for diabetic blindness. You can visualize this intricate balance like a perfectly maintained lawn that always needs to be kept at exactly the right height. If the grass starts to grow too long, you instinctively mow it back down. If it becomes too short, you allow it to grow. Similarly, your body possesses sophisticated internal systems that actively promote blood vessel growth when and where it is needed, and equally powerful systems that halt blood vessel growth when you have a sufficient supply. It is a state of perfect physiological equilibrium, what I like to call the Goldilocks zone. Everything is just right. Now, here's the cunning trick that cancer employs, the mechanism that makes it so insidiously dangerous. Cancer cells possess the ability to hijack and manipulate your body's finely tuned angiogenesis system. They do this by releasing specific proteins, aptly named growth factors, which act like a powerful fertilizer, aggressively stimulating new blood vessels to sprout and grow directly into the heart of the tumor itself. The moment these newly formed blood vessels connect to the tumor, everything fundamentally changes. Research has measured this transformation with astounding precision. A tumor that remains completely isolated from any blood supply is essentially frozen in time. It stays confined to a minuscule size, typically around 1 to 2 millimeters in diameter. To put that in perspective, it's smaller than a single grain of rice. Such a tiny, isolated tumor can persist for years, even decades, completely harmless, because it simply cannot obtain the nutrients required to expand. But the instant angiogenesis occurs, the moment blood vessels penetrate that tumor, its growth explodes exponentially. a groundbreaking study conducted at Harvard Medical School, meticulously tracked tumor growth rates using advanced imaging techniques. They discovered that once vascularization takes place, meaning blood vessels have successfully reached the tumor, the growth rate increases by an astonishing factor of 16,000 in approximately just 14 days. Let me truly put that into perspective for you. A tumor, initially the size of a mere pinpoint, can swell to the size of a grape within just 2 weeks, all thanks to gaining its blood supply. This dramatic acceleration is precisely why early detection of cancer is so critically important. But even more significantly, it underscores why preventing tumor angiogenesis in the first place is arguably one of the most powerful and proactive anti-cancer strategies we currently possess. For many years, pharmaceutical companies have poured billions of dollars into developing sophisticated drugs specifically designed to block tumor angiogenesis. These drugs, known as angiogenesis inhibitors, are now established as standard treatments for a wide variety of cancers. They function by effectively cutting off the blood supply to tumors, essentially starving them into submission. While these pharmaceutical drugs can be remarkably effective, they also come with significant side effects because they impact blood vessel growth throughout your entire body, not exclusively within the cancerous tumors. Now, here's where the narrative becomes truly captivating, and this is the point where my own medical perspective underwent a dramatic and permanent shift. When researchers rigorously tested these angiogenesis-blocking drugs in laboratory settings, they utilized specific assays, highly precise scientific tests, to accurately measure how effectively different chemical compounds could halt the growth of blood vessels. In one particularly groundbreaking experiment, scientists made a bold decision. They decided to test not just pharmaceutical compounds, but also extracts derived from common, everyday foods. They specifically tested green tea extract. The results were so incredibly striking, so profoundly impactful, that if the researchers hadn't known the extract came from a humble plant, if they had mistakenly believed it originated from a cutting-edge pharmaceutical company, they would have immediately fast-tracked it into clinical trials. The polyphenols naturally present in green tea, particularly a potent compound called EGCG, epigallocatechin galate, were found to be as effective at blocking abnormal blood vessel growth as some of the most promising experimental cancer drugs. But that's merely a glimpse of the bigger picture. Green tea, while impressive, is by no means the only food endowed with this extraordinary capability. When you systematically test various foods using the same rigorous scientific methodologies employed for pharmaceutical drug development, an astonishing truth emerges. You discover that well over 100 different foods possess measurable anti-angiogenic properties. This means they have the demonstrable power to slow down or even completely stop the growth of the blood vessels that are so crucial for feeding tumors. This isn't conjecture or hopeful speculation. This is hard science, meticulously measured in controlled laboratory assays where scientists can directly observe blood vessel growth being inhibited by compounds precisely extracted from common food sources. The second crucial mechanism, even more significant for long-term cancer prevention, revolves around the ability of certain foods to actually repair damaged DNA. Every single day, your DNA, the very blueprint of life within your cells, takes a relentless barrage of hits. Ultraviolet radiation from sunlight, insidious chemicals lurking in processed foods, pervasive environmental pollutants, and even the normal, essential metabolic processes within your own body all contribute to causing DNA damage. Fortunately, your cells are equipped with highly sophisticated repair mechanisms, acting like a dedicated maintenance crew, tirelessly fixing problems before they can escalate into permanent, dangerous mutations. However, these vital repair systems are not self-sufficient. They require specific, essential nutrients to function optimally. Without adequate nutritional support, DNA damage begins to accumulate, creating a precarious situation. Think of it like a well-traveled road that inevitably develops potholes. If you have a highly competent repair crew armed with the right materials, they promptly fill those potholes, and the road remains smooth and safe. But if that repair crew lacks asphalt, equipment, or even the basic tools, those initial potholes grow larger, more potholes emerge, and eventually, the entire road deteriorates into a dangerous, impassable mess. That's precisely what happens to your precious DNA without consistent, proper nutritional support. The most remarkable research highlighting food-based DNA repair capabilities comes from compelling studies on kiwi fruit. This particular finding genuinely surprised me when I first encountered the data. Kiwis are not typically lauded as a superfood in popular culture, but the scientific evidence is undeniably compelling. A robust study conducted by the University of Oslo in Norway recruited 43 healthy adults and assigned them to one of three groups, eating 1 kiwi per day, 2 kiwis per day, or 3 kiwis per day, all for a period of 3 weeks. At the conclusion of this 3-week intervention, researchers meticulously measured DNA damage within the participants' cells using a sophisticated technique called the COMET assay. This ingenious test literally allows scientists to visualize broken DNA strands under a microscope. They appear like tiny comets with glowing tails, hence the evocative name. The results were astounding. Participants who consumed just 1 kiwi daily showed a remarkable 60% less DNA damage compared to their baseline measurements. Pause for a moment and consider the profound implication of that. A single kiwi fruit providing a 60% protective shield against daily DNA damage. Even more remarkable were the results from the participants who consumed 3 kiwis daily. Not only was new DNA damage effectively prevented, but existing damage within their cells was actively repaired. Their cells demonstrated a profound 60% improvement in DNA repair capacity. The underlying mechanism for this powerful effect primarily traces back to the high concentration of vitamin C and other potent antioxidants found within kiwi fruit. Vitamin C directly neutralizes harmful free radicals that are notorious for causing DNA strand breaks, and it simultaneously supports the enzymatic systems that are responsible for physically repairing damaged DNA. But kiwis offer more than just vitamin C. They are a complex package containing a rich array of polyphenols, flavonoids, and carotenoids that work together synergistically, amplifying each other's benefits. This highlights a critical distinction between consuming whole foods and relying on isolated supplements. You can certainly take a vitamin C pill, and yes, you will gain some antioxidant benefits. However, when you eat a whole kiwi, you are receiving vitamin C alongside dozens of other beneficial compounds that enhance each other's effects in intricate ways that scientists are still only beginning to discover. The whole food, in its natural matrix, is invariably far more powerful than the sum of its isolated parts. Now, most people typically associate cancer prevention with avoiding known carcinogens, not smoking, limiting alcohol intake, and staying out of excessive sun exposure. While these actions are undeniably important and absolutely matter, they represent only half of the comprehensive equation. The other, equally vital half involves actively and consistently supporting your body's intrinsic anti-cancer defense systems. Your body is, by its very design, already equipped and prepared to fight cancer. You possess specialized immune cells that are exquisitely trained to recognize and destroy cancer cells. You have finely tuned systems that meticulously regulate blood vessel growth. You have robust DNA repair mechanisms constantly at work. The fundamental question then becomes, are you consistently providing your body with the precise nutritional tools it needs to run these incredibly sophisticated systems at their optimal efficiency? Let me now elaborate on the specific anti-cancer pathways that food can actively activate and bolster. Pathway 1. Anti-angiogenesis. As we've already discussed, this pathway is about cutting off the tumor's lifeline. Foods rich in specific polyphenols, flavonoids, and other bioactive compounds possess the remarkable ability to inhibit the growth factors that tumors release to stimulate the formation of new blood vessels. When aggressive tumor cells release VEGF, vascular endothelial growth factor, in a desperate attempt to grow blood vessels directly into themselves. These powerful food compounds step in and block the VEGF receptors. It's like cutting the crucial communication line between the desperate tumor and your body's blood vessel building machinery, effectively isolating the tumor. You'll be truly amazed when you learn which specific foods are most powerful at this. Pathway 2. Direct immune activation. Your immune system is a marvel of biological engineering, featuring specialized cells that are the elite forces in the fight against cancer. These include natural killer NK cells and T cells, which are expert at identifying and eliminating cancer cells before they can cause widespread harm. Certain foods have been scientifically shown to dramatically increase both the number and the activity of these vital immune cells. A compelling study from the University of Auckland measured immune cell counts in athletes both before and after they consumed blueberries. Athletes are particularly interesting subjects for such studies because intense exercise can temporarily suppress immune function, making it easier to precisely measure the impact of dietary interventions. In this study, researchers had athletes consume 1.5 cups of blueberries daily for a period of 6 weeks. At the conclusion of the 6 weeks, the athletes exhibited a stunning 88% more T cells circulating in their bloodstream. Their natural killer cell activity was also significantly elevated. This wasn't merely about participants feeling healthier. These were objectively measured increases in the actual immune cells that are specifically tasked with destroying cancer. The active compounds responsible for this immune boost are anthocyanins, the vibrant blue pigments found in blueberries that act as powerful immune stimulators. Pathway 3. The microbiome immunity connection. This is where the research takes a truly fascinating and cutting-edge turn. Your gut is home to an incredibly vast and complex ecosystem of trillions of bacteria, collectively known as your microbiome. We now understand that certain specific bacterial species within your gut directly influence how effectively your immune system can fight cancer. One particular bacterium, called Akkermansia mucinifila, has emerged as a truly key player in this intricate relationship. Research from the Gustave Roussy Cancer Center in France meticulously studied 200 cancer patients who were receiving immunotherapy, a revolutionary treatment designed to help your immune system recognize and attack cancer cells. Immunotherapy works remarkably well for some patients, leading to complete elimination of even metastatic cancer, but for other patients, it sadly shows no benefit at all. The researchers were determined to uncover why this disparity existed. They analyzed stool samples from all 200 patients and made a pivotal discovery. The only significant difference between the responders, those who had excellent outcomes, and the non-responders, those who didn't benefit, was the presence, or lack thereof, of Akkermansia bacteria in their gut. Patients with high levels of Akkermansia responded dramatically to immunotherapy. Conversely, patients with low or absent Akkermansia showed no response. This specific bacterium essentially primes your immune system, making it far more effective at fighting cancer. So, now that you grasp these powerful mechanisms, the crucial question is, what specific actions can you take? What are the exact foods, and how much of them do you truly need to consume? Allow me to present the precise protocol, grounded in robust, scientific research and reflecting what I consistently recommend to my own patients. The Anti-Cancer Food Protocol. Food number 1. Kiwi fruit. You should aim to eat 1 to 3 kiwis daily, adjusting the quantity based on your personal health goals. For general DNA protection and daily cellular maintenance, a single kiwi per day is sufficient. However, if you have higher risk factors, such as a family history of cancer, or if you have personally had cancer and wish to vigorously support your recovery and prevent recurrence, aim for 3 kiwis daily. The research clearly indicates maximal benefit at this 3 per day intake. You can consume them with the skin on, provided you purchase organic kiwis and wash them thoroughly. The skin, often discarded, contains additional beneficial fiber and polyphenols. If the fuzzy texture of green kiwis bothers you, golden kiwis have a smooth skin and are just as nutritionally beneficial. Simply cut them in half and scoop out the vibrant flesh with a spoon. Add them to your morning yogurt or blend them into invigorating smoothies. Kiwis are also exceptional for nurturing your gut microbiome because they are packed with prebiotic fiber that specifically feeds beneficial bacteria. Food number 2, green tea. To reap its full benefits, you need 3 cups daily of properly brewed green tea. I emphasize properly brewed because bottled green tea from convenience stores typically contains minimal active compounds and is often laden with added sugar. We are talking about actual brewed green tea from high-quality leaves. The primary active compound is EGCG, which, as discussed, powerfully inhibits tumor angiogenesis and also exerts direct anti-cancer effects on cells. A significant study from the Chinese University of Hong Kong followed an impressive 68,000 women for over 10 years. The findings were striking. Women who drank green tea regularly, defined as at least 3 cups per week, had a 27% lower risk of developing colorectal cancer compared to non-tea drinkers. Those who consumed green tea daily experienced even better outcomes. Here's how to brew it for maximum benefit. Heat water to approximately 175 degree, about 80 degree K. This is steaming hot, but not quite boiling. If you accidentally boil the water, simply let it cool for about 3 minutes. Steep your tea leaves for 3 to 5 minutes. Longer steeping extracts more EGCG, but can make the tea more bitter. A crucial tip: adding lemon juice can dramatically increase EGCG absorption by about 6 times because the vitamin C in lemon stabilizes the catechins in your digestive system, preventing their degradation. Do not add dairy milk. The proteins in dairy bind to the beneficial compounds, significantly preventing their absorption. If you need to lighten your tea, opt for a plant-based milk like almond or oat milk. Food number 3, blueberries. 1 cup daily is your target. Both fresh and frozen blueberries work wonderfully. In fact, frozen blueberries are sometimes even higher in anthocyanins because they are typically picked and frozen at their peak ripeness. The anthocyanins in blueberries perform multiple crucial functions. They boost immune cell production, reduce harmful inflammation throughout the body, and possess potent anti-angiogenic properties. But here's something most people don't realize. Blueberries also help prevent the chronic inflammation that often promotes cancer growth while simultaneously boosting beneficial immune activity specifically against cancer cells. This might seem contradictory, reducing harmful inflammation while enhancing immune response, but it's one of the remarkable, intelligent features of these plant compounds. A comprehensive study from the University of East Anglia tracked nearly 200,000 people for over 2 decades. Those who consistently consumed the highest amounts of anthocyanin-rich foods, primarily berries, had a significant 17% lower risk of developing cancer overall. For specific cancers like esophageal and colorectal cancer, the risk reduction was even more profound, reaching up to 40%. Food number 4, soy foods. This food category might surprise many people, largely due to a persistent amount of misinformation surrounding it. We're talking about whole soy foods like tofu, tempeh, edamame, and soy milk. You should aim for at least 2 servings per week, ideally 1 serving every other day. There's a widespread and completely unfounded myth that soy is dangerous because it contains phytoestrogens, plant compounds that some people erroneously claim mimic human estrogen, potentially leading to hormone-related cancers. This notion is completely wrong and unsupported by science. Phytoestrogens, at the molecular level, look nothing like human estrogen. In fact, they often act to block human estrogen receptors, which is actually a protective mechanism against hormone-related cancers, such as breast cancer. The active compound in soy, called genistein, is one of the most powerful anti-angiogenic substances ever scientifically tested. Research from the University of Illinois meticulously measured genestine's ability to block blood vessel growth to tumors. They found it inhibited VEGF signaling by over 70% in experimental models. Population studies strongly support this. Asian countries, where traditional soy consumption is high, consistently exhibit significantly lower rates of breast and prostate cancer compared to Western countries, where soy consumption is typically minimal. A meta-analysis combining data from 35 studies found that women who consumed the most soy had a remarkable 29% lower risk of developing breast cancer. For women who had already been diagnosed with breast cancer, a high soy intake was associated with better outcomes and significantly lower recurrence rates. Food number 5, broccoli. But here's the critical detail that most people often overlook. Broccoli sprouts are exponentially more powerful than mature broccoli florets. The key active compound is sulforaphane, which activates your body's potent detoxification systems and also exerts direct anti-cancer effects. While mature broccoli certainly contains sulforaphane, broccoli sprouts, the tiny 3 to 4 day old seedlings, contain an astonishing 100 times more of this vital compound. A groundbreaking study from Johns Hopkins University measured sulforaphane levels and found that a small handful of broccoli sprouts provides as much sulforaphane as several pounds of mature broccoli. You can typically find broccoli sprouts at many grocery stores in the produce section, often near other types of sprouts, or you can easily grow them yourself at home in a simple jar, a process that takes about 4 days. Aim to eat a quarter cup of broccoli sprouts 3 to 4 times per week. If you genuinely can't find sprouts, then by all means eat regular broccoli, but focus heavily on the stems, not just the florets. The stems contain about twice as much sulforaphane as the tops. Don't throw them away. Chop them finely and add them to stir fries. Blend them into creamy soups or steam them alongside the florets. One more critical tip about broccoli. Lightly steaming it for 3 to 4 minutes actually increases sulforaphane bioavailability compared to eating it raw. However, boiling completely destroys sulforaphane, so never boil your broccoli. Food number 6, tomatoes. Specifically, cooked tomatoes are the star here. The primary anti-cancer compound is lycopene, a powerful carotenoid that gives tomatoes their vibrant red color. Lycopene possesses potent anti-angiogenic properties and also actively protects cellular DNA from damaging oxidative stress. Here's the particularly interesting part. Cooking tomatoes dramatically increases the bioavailability of lycopene. When you eat a raw tomato, you absorb only a small fraction of its lycopene. But when you cook tomatoes, the heat breaks down the tough cell walls, releasing lycopene in a form that your body can absorb much more efficiently. Therefore, tomato sauce, tomato paste, and roasted tomatoes all provide significantly more bioavailable lycopene than fresh, raw tomatoes. A landmark study from Harvard meticulously followed over 47,000 men for 12 years. Those who regularly consumed tomato products at least twice per week had a 23% lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who rarely ate tomatoes. Men who consumed 10 or more servings of tomato products per week experienced an even greater risk reduction, up to 35%. Aim for at least 3 servings per week of cooked tomato products. A serving is generally considered half a cup of tomato sauce, a quarter cup of tomato paste, or 1 cup of cooked tomatoes. Always add olive oil when cooking tomatoes because lycopene is fat soluble, meaning it's absorbed much better when consumed with healthy fats. Food number 7, pomegranate. You need approximately 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice daily, or half a fresh pomegranate fruit. Pomegranates are rich in powerful compounds called ellagitannins, which your beneficial gut bacteria convert into urolithin A. This compound has truly remarkable effects on overall cellular health and immune function. But here's the critical connection to cancer. Pomegranate specifically feeds Akkermansia mucinifila, that guardian bacterium I mentioned earlier that plays a pivotal role in determining whether cancer immunotherapy is effective. I'm aware of a compelling clinical case involving a patient with multiple myeloma who was preparing to receive immunotherapy. She had recently taken antibiotics for a respiratory infection, which had unfortunately completely wiped out her Akkermansia bacteria. Her doctor, recognizing the crucial role of the gut microbiome, delayed her immunotherapy treatment for 3 weeks and instructed her to drink 8 ounces of pomegranate juice daily. After just 3 weeks, her Akkermansia levels had surged to 6 times the normal population average. When she finally started her immunotherapy, she responded in the top 1% of patients, with her cancer essentially disappearing after only 3 treatments. This dramatic outcome powerfully illustrates the potential of strategically using food to optimize and enhance the effectiveness of even advanced medical treatments. For daily prevention, you don't necessarily need 8 ounces. 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice with no added sugar or eating half a fresh pomegranate provides sufficient elagitannins to support robust Akkermansia growth. You can also obtain elagitannins from walnuts, raspberries, and cranberries. Therefore, rotating between these delicious foods offers variety while consistently maintaining the crucial benefit. Pro tips from 15 years of clinical practice. To truly maximize the anti-cancer effects of these incredible foods, here are some invaluable insights gleaned from my years of clinical experience. Timing matters significantly. Your immune system and DNA repair systems are most active and perform their crucial work while you sleep. Therefore, consume your DNA protective foods, such as kiwi and berries, earlier in the day. This allows your body ample time to absorb and distribute the vital nutrients throughout your system before you settle down for sleep, optimizing their repair functions overnight. Conversely, save your anti-angiogenic foods, like green tea and soy, for the afternoon and evening meals. Furthermore, avoid eating heavy meals within 3 hours of bedtime, as active digestion diverts precious energy and resources away from essential cellular repair processes and immune surveillance, compromising your body's nightly restorative work. The power of combination for synergistic effects. The beauty of whole foods often lies in their synergistic potential, how they interact and enhance each other's effects when consumed together, creating a combined impact far more powerful than individual foods alone. For instance, drinking green tea with a squeeze of fresh lemon significantly increases EGCG absorption by an impressive sixfold. Eating cooked tomatoes with a healthy drizzle of olive oil boosts lycopene absorption by threefold. Similarly, consuming vitamin C-rich foods like kiwi alongside plant foods rich in iron like spinach or lentils dramatically increases iron absorption. Take a moment to thoughtfully consider how you can strategically combine these foods in your daily meals. Imagine a vibrant smoothie with blueberries, kiwi, and a handful of fresh spinach, providing you with a potent blend of anthocyanins, vitamin C, and sulforaphane all at once. Or picture a delicious meal featuring baked tofu, lightly steamed broccoli, and a rich tomato sauce, delivering genistein, sulforaphane, and lycopene in a single, powerful sitting. Consistency beats intensity. This is a golden rule for long-term health. Do not fall into the trap of eating 3 cups of blueberries one day, only to neglect them for the next 2 weeks. Your body's complex defense systems respond optimally to consistent, regular input. Consuming 1 cup of blueberries every single day is immeasurably more effective than eating 7 cups just once a week. The same principle applies to all of these anti-cancer foods. Regular, daily, or near-daily consumption creates a sustained activation of these vital protective pathways within your body. Think of it like maintaining a warm, steady fire. Consistent, small additions of fuel keep it burning brightly and reliably. Sporadic, large additions merely cause temporary flare-ups followed by dying embers. Don't strive for perfection. It's about empowerment, not deprivation. The biggest mistake I frequently observe is people believing they must adhere to a perfectly pristine diet 100% of the time, only to become overwhelmed and give up entirely when they inevitably can't maintain such an unrealistic standard. Remember, your body possesses multiple redundant defense systems, a biological redundancy designed for resilience. If you are consistently eating most of these beneficial foods on most days, you are equipping your body with a tremendous and formidable protective capability. If you occasionally indulge in something that isn't ideal, your fortified defenses are perfectly capable of handling it without undermining your overall efforts. This approach isn't about rigid deprivation or living in fear. It's profoundly about empowerment and sustainable, joyful nourishment. Supplements cannot replace whole foods. While quality supplements certainly have their place, especially if you genuinely cannot access certain whole foods due to availability or dietary restrictions, it's crucial to understand their fundamental limitation. Supplements typically provide isolated compounds, extracting one or a few active ingredients. Whole foods, by contrast, offer a rich symphony of hundreds of compounds working synergistically in intricate ways that scientists are still actively discovering. A single tomato, for example, contains not just lycopene, but also vitamin C, potassium, folate, and dozens of other carotenoids and polyphenols that collectively enhance lycopene's effects. A supplement, by definition, gives you lycopene alone. The whole food, in its natural complex matrix, is invariably far more powerful and beneficial. Preparation methods dramatically affect nutrient availability. We've already touched upon the importance of cooking tomatoes to boost lycopene absorption and lightly steaming broccoli to maximize sulforaphane. With green tea, the water temperature and steeping time are crucial for optimal EGCG extraction. With kiwis, consuming the skin provides extra fiber and polyphenols. These seemingly small details in preparation accumulate to create significant differences in how much of the active, beneficial compounds you actually absorb and your body can utilize. While it's important not to overthink it to the point of paralysis, paying attention to these practical preparation tips can profoundly enhance your nutritional intake. Embrace an additive approach. Focus on adding, not just eliminating. One more invaluable insight from my clinical experience is this: patients who consciously focus on adding beneficial foods to their diet, rather than solely fixating on eliminating foods they love, are far more successful in achieving sustainable, long-term health improvements. Instead of thinking, I can never eat pizza again, reframe your thinking to, I'm going to add blueberries to my breakfast every morning and have a cup of green tea every afternoon. As you progressively incorporate more protective and nutrient-dense foods, they naturally begin to crowd out less healthy options from your diet. You'll often find yourself genuinely wanting that second serving of roasted vegetables instead of a third helping of pasta, simply because your body starts to crave the foods that truly make it feel better and thrive. This gradual, additive approach is inherently sustainable for decades, whereas restrictive, elimination-focused diets almost invariably fail to last more than a few months. Look, cancer does not have to be an inevitable or preordained part of the aging process. The patients I have seen who remain cancer-free for years, or who successfully recover from aggressive cancer diagnoses, are not necessarily genetically superior. They are not merely lucky. What they consistently do is actively and consciously choose to eat foods that vigorously activate and support their body's remarkable natural anti-cancer defenses. Your immune system possesses the inherent capability to recognize and eliminate cancer cells. Your body is equipped to control blood vessel growth, thereby starving potential tumors. Your cells have evolved sophisticated mechanisms to repair damaged DNA. These incredibly powerful systems exist within you right now, this very moment. The pivotal question before us is whether you are consistently providing them with the critical nutritional support they so desperately need to function at their absolute optimum. Here's a concise recap of what we've thoroughly covered. Cancer cells, to grow beyond a microscopic, harmless size, absolutely need a network of blood vessels to feed them. Fortunately, foods containing specific polyphenols and flavonoids can effectively starve tumors by blocking the process of angiogenesis. Certain foods, with kiwi fruit being a standout example, provide potent DNA protection and active repair. Your gut bacteria, especially the guardian Akkermansia mucinifila, play a crucially underestimated role in immune-mediated cancer defense. The 7 most powerful foods to incorporate into your diet are kiwis at 1 to 3 daily, green tea at 3 cups daily, blueberries at 1 cup daily, soy foods at 2 servings weekly, broccoli sprouts at a quarter cup 3 times weekly, cooked tomatoes at 3 servings weekly, and pomegranate at 4 ounces of juice or half a fresh fruit daily. These foods exert their profound effects through multiple interconnected mechanisms, including anti-angiogenesis, direct immune activation, robust DNA repair, and essential microbiome support. Remember, consistency in consumption and proper preparation methods are far more important than striving for unattainable perfection. Furthermore, combining these foods strategically creates synergistic effects that are significantly more powerful than the benefits derived from individual foods alone. Ultimately, you possess far more control over your cancer risk than you have ever been led to believe. Your body already possesses the sophisticated internal systems to prevent and effectively fight cancer. Food, in its purest and most potent form, provides the essential fuel those systems need to thrive. If you found this information truly helpful and empowering, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. Your engagement helps me reach more people just like you who are genuinely seeking real, science-based information about preventing disease and optimizing their health for a vibrant future. I'll see you in the next video.